Okay, I'm taping part 2 of a webcam for January 11th, 2013. In my previous video, part 1, I mentioned my inventions, the spherical oil tanker and the which would have stopped our oil spill since 1979, and I mentioned the 2-story house that would have made a huge dent in the droughts. I forgot to mention, like I've repetitively repeated in my Sandy Hook shooting recordings, how when I was asked to answer the Vote Smart political courage test in 2008, I said that I had a device, a type of device, kind of like the show called Person of Interest. If you ever tune in on that show, it's a device kind of like that, but it isn't like in the TV, how the TV show explains it, because humans are involved, and it ties into the 99th monkey philosophy, which I talk about in some of my other videos, and entanglement and quantum physics. I have managed to, I guess, let me explain it this way. Einstein was looking for a unified field theory. Well, I've already found the unified field theory, and I'm not sharing it with anyone. But the unified field theory sits inside quantum physics, the 99th monkey philosophy, how the universe really works, how the atoms of everything in the universe actually do work, not just the models that we see that Niels Bohr thought up, that little electrons are rotating around the nucleus of an atom. Not like that at all. Anyway, I have found unified theory, but it's surprisingly not mathematical. It is, but you can't do the math fast enough with even thousands of computers and hundreds of billions of gigabytes. Even the NSA computer, the Blue Gene computer, could not keep up with this, because humans are involved. Chemical memory is involved, and the shuffling of the DNA and how it's born, and the progressive stimulus that gives us the capability to come up with these new ideas, which are already implanted there, and where the source is actually from. And unfortunately, none of you will ever believe me, because you're not patient enough to go through all the 400 videos, especially the one where I tell you there are 5 websites that prove everything that I'm talking about. Unfortunately, the government has had their people watching my videos, and they've been trying to decipher by shuffling through all my videos and taking words and comments, like a CSI investigation. They have a huge wall, like back here, and they pinned, like in Sherlock Holmes, the show called Elementary, where he puts Moriarty's name right there in the middle, and he takes everything down, and he's doing a study of psychological study of whatever it is that he's studying. In his case, murderers, but in my case, it's the whole universe and every galaxy in it. It's difficult to explain, because I can only explain it to other people who multitask, and even they will have difficulty keeping up with me, because it's like I said about DNA. It's like Russian roulette. Once it's born, it's subjected to certain kinds of stimuli, and the stimuli creates other stimulus, like a chain reaction, that enable the DNA to actually piece things together in such a way that only that person can explain it. And it can only be done through, unfortunately, a mind transference, which is impossible in our state of technology right now. So you have to depend on only one person. It's a central source. And unfortunately, the government has been trying to get an upper hand on being able to control this, okay? Like in making predictions of who's going to do what, who's going to do violent things, like in the show First Person of Special Interest. That's not a fluke, and that's not a coincidence. That is possible. But the problem here is that none of you realize the enormity, and actually the enormities, plural, of what's involved here, and how special it could have been if I had been recognized prior to all these damages and the circumventing of the roads or paths that I had chosen to go down, that I had manufactured my path and I was going down that path, and then it was interfered with by it doesn't matter, city authorities, police, false reports, all of that stuff. And a lot of the people that were doing this damage are actually subconsciously involved in this great, great, great collective mindset that's everywhere. And they recognize, all these people that did this damage recognize that this guy is special and we don't know how to handle this. And because they don't know, they fear super intelligence, or in this case, supreme intelligence. And I say that very, 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 what's the word? I say that very, without any ego. I say that very humbly, because a person that reaches the kind of supreme intelligence that I have arrived at is not on an ego trip at all. It doesn't want to have anything. As a matter of fact, you reach this level and you don't have anything to do with people because they're just too slow. They can't keep up with you. If they're going and they say they understand, well, they kind of do, but they don't consciously understand fully, and because of that, they're just kind of trailing along, tagging along. That's pretty much how it works. So they're more a tag along than they are a person who really understands the complexities of what I'm talking about. The fact that we have our hands on such great destructive technology makes us an even more dangerous liability, not only to ourselves, to other people like me that are out there. I have brothers and sisters that are out there, and those that have tuned in know that there is a tsunami, a supreme intelligent tsunami that's already on its course. And I'm one of the leaders of this supreme tsunami. It's an invisible tsunami of intelligence, and it's overtaking all of the people that are desperately trying to stay in control. And my message right now to Obama and all the leaders of the world and the Bilderberg Group, give it up. Give it up now while you're ahead. Because if you don't, when we take over, I guarantee you're going to wish you had listened to me on January the 11th, 2013. You're going to wish that you had taken me 100%, beyond 100% serious, and you would have made any kind of convention or press conference. You would have made it immediately the next day at the latest possible moment and said, okay, Caesar, bow to you. We bow to what you've started. What do we do now? That is your best bet, because from this day on, there will be no point. It's beyond the point of no return. Okay? I make this in the most serious, humble, straightforward message that I could ever make. You have made the most drastic mistakes doing what you did to me and doing what you've done to all my brothers and sisters that are out there that are part of this DNA tsunami that's taking over your planet. We will take over. Every cop, every judge, every lawyer, every politician, every mean, jerk-off moron that's out there, you're going to have to answer to a lot of things. And there may be a place. I'm glad you built those 680 detention camps, because that's probably where Obama and the Congress and all the state legislatures, that's probably where my army is going to put all of you. We're going to put you in those detention centers because you don't deserve to be handling all of this. You don't have the brains for it. You don't have the multitask. Your presidential advisors, they're all from the Brookings Institute, they're all jerks and idiots. They have no capability to keep up with me or the people that I'm connected to. You don't understand. This connection cannot be. You can't eavesdrop on this connection. You can't do that. As a matter of fact, many of us haven't even met each other yet, but we know we're out there. There's no doubt in my mind. We know we are all out there. and we're a huge tsunami, and you have no defense against us, none at all. It's like a cloud covering, like a cloud around an atom. The cloud is covering the planet in this intelligence group, and you have no idea what you've messed with. None. And we won't put up with you one more day. We will set into motion plans, events, things that will bring about so much destruction. You won't believe it. You won't be able to connect us to it because we don't have to do it. You've already done it for us. You created the enemy. You created the hatred, killing all their men, women, and children in your crappy wars. You've already done it. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to lift one finger. We just have to sit back and wait. You think that earthquake in Washington, D.C. was just a fluke? You think that was just, it was just a fluke? The crack in the Washington Monument? You think that's all just a fluke? Or the fact that there was only one time I visited the Washington Monument? My presence there, because I was in the Washington Monument, I went up in the elevator and went down, that's all it took. My very presence being there, in the end, years later, dozens of years later, made that earthquake happen. I don't care if you don't believe me. I'm the guy who's told you I can stop tornadoes. I have the technology up here. It's locked in here. You don't. You can't put it together. You can't put the future plans of a surviving good nation together. Not now, not ever. You have made the most horrible mistake in what you allowed to happen to me. And right now, that's what I expect. If anyone approaches me from the authoritative sections of the government, federal, state, or local, before you approach me, you're going to bow. You're going to bow. You're going to bow on your knees down. And why? Not because it gets me off. Believe me, it doesn't. I think that's very degrading. But that's the only way I can think that you'd be doing penance of a sort for doing the kind of damage you've done to me, because the damage is permanent. Can you return the years of my life to me? Can you pray to God and tell God that tomorrow morning I'll wake up 16 years old? There is no God. The only God that exists is in the words that John F. Kennedy said in his inaugural speech. The end of this speech is where he said, in this world, God's work must truly be our own. And that's true. That's absolutely 100% true. If there is a form of God that is good and kind and sincere, we're expected to act like gods and to put that influence out there. Mr. Obama, you do not and are not the president. Neither any of the leaders of the countries. You are evil, sick, money-generating people who think you're doing good for this nation or any nation. Your weapons of destruction, prove yourself. You prove yourself by killing all the innocent children and keeping it secret. Swearing the soldiers to secrecy, saying they can't talk about the abominations that you have either done by accident or by design. And the media, the mainstream media, doesn't put that in front of the public's face. No, instead they put the Sandy Hook shooting there. Or Timothy McVeigh and his blowing up of the Miramar Federal Building. Now, all of those things, they're not coincidence. Whenever you do damage to people like me, those things are already in the works. And I don't want you to believe me, because I want you to go through all those pains, deaths, and destructions. The only way you can stop it, if the ball's in your park, the ball control is in your park, not mine. You comply with my demands, and I guarantee you, things will start changing within the first 6 months. The world will turn their head to this country and go, whoa, what the hell is happening in the USA? What has happened over there? Even the media will be surprised. They'll go, holy Christ. I didn't know there was ever a person that even existed, or persons existed, that were like this. Actually, they started existing when you had all those families working in the Manhattan Project. But even then, your puny little minds attacked them and broke up the project because you knew subconsciously what would happen if you left those families together for too long. The Founding Fathers said that concentrated power breeds absolute power, and that's bad. Concentrated intelligence, you think that's bad? Not compared to concentrated intelligence. Concentrated intelligence will totally take over and put you all out of a job. Put you back to working in the fields where you belong. Because you don't deserve a job. Because it's not set up right. Politicians should be paid, should not be able to withdraw their wages until the people have said that you have deserved, you have earned the money that you've been working for. But the people also have to be educated enough to be able to make that decision. And that can't happen, it's catch-22, until you people step down. There's no choice here. Comply with my demands or face the most horrible, serious circumstances you could ever imagine. It'll all be done by people that we don't even know. People who have a lower breaking point, who might even hear my videos and say, now's the time to strike. I'm not telling them to strike. They're striking of their own free will. And you're allowing it. You, Mr. Obama, you, the media, you, ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, you, the controlled media. You're the evilest lot of all. My plan, my invention to stop any death from any kind of gun violence would have been already in operation if I'd been given attention in 2008. But you, the media, blocked me. You, the media, are responsible for the Sandy Hook shootings of those children that died because you blocked me. So live with it. You, ABC, CBS, NBC, you killed those children. And I'm always going to say it. I'm going to print pictures about it. I'm going to send letters out in the mail about it. You, the media, killed those children by blocking me. Because the invention has been here all along. Negotiation is the foundation of everything. You want my inventions? You need and needed to have put me on the air. Because that shooting would never have happened. And neither would the Aurora shooting or any other shooting since 2008. Actually, the invention has been around longer than that, but that's when I talked about it on Vote Smart in my political courage test. I didn't answer political courage test in 2000, in this recent election, because 2012, because you don't deserve it. But why should I knock myself out to do that? Comply with me, Mr. Obama, or face the consequences. I don't think you want to have an inauguration this year. I advise against it. Not because of any threat, but because of more bad karma that you're going to pile on to the huge heap of bad karma that you've already made. You and Bush and Clinton, all the presidents. Talk to you later.